Have you ever sat at your desk with a laptop and your to-do list that you set aside from the day before that you just could not execute on? No matter how much you tried or how much clarity you have on what you need to be doing, you simply cannot get to work and start executing. Well, after working with hundreds of people and 15 plus entrepreneurs one-to-one, I've identified that the inaction loop that you are currently experiencing is super easy to solve, but it only comes down to learning the meta skill that entrepreneurs, agency owners, coaches, consultants, and other high-level people like athletes and public speakers have used to identify and track in real time parts of their negative self-image, the inner voice that is stopping them subconsciously through fear, doubt, and negative past experiences to act upon what they need to be doing. And as a guy who works on this within himself, I even do it right now whilst filming this video. I can tell you by the end of this video, if you unlock and learn this skill, you'll be able to execute at a level with the aligned identity and connection to your true self that you've never had before. This is super key to be able to understand and navigate entrepreneurship. And I can tell you, if you sit down, take some notes and put this into practice on the daily, you're going to make a hell of a lot of money. My name is Alex and I work with a ton of guys in info, so coaches, consultants, creators, on building and scaling their online education businesses through their mindset and helping them align with the identity of their true self, the one that is capable of executing at the level that they need in order to make the impact that they want to make, have the freedom, wealth, and money in general for them to be able to make the biggest impact possible in their businesses. But I can tell you for a fact, if you are resonating with that hook in this YouTube video, then you are stuck in an inaction loop. And that is where your negative self-image, the negative inner critic in your head, is ruling your business and not you. So in this video, I'm going to dive deep into how you can learn and solve this problem at scale. And it's going to be an amazing one. But this is to do with the fact of the meta skill. Now, what is the meta skill? Well, meta just means it transcends the norm. It goes beyond something. And you might recognize Meta's logo, but it also is the infinity sign. This is going to allow you to get an infinite enough reason to keep going. It's going to be the main energy source and where you can go back and reconnect with your true self. You can use this an infinite amount of times. It's not something that you learn and then you have a single use case for. It is the most powerful skill known to man. And I can say that for a fact. I learned this from a guy and I will take full inspiration and basically steal it because I've been using it a lot with all my clients as the meta skill, and his name is Andrew Leaton. I had a great session with him on a call once, and now I'm here teaching it to other people. And this is for the main reason of this allows you to take away all the negative thoughts, put yourself in a calm and clear state, and just start executing what you need to be doing. Now, the meta skill itself comes under 3 stages, which underpin your ability to act upon what you need to be doing. And starting to chip away at that negative self-image that rules your business, also known as your inner critic or your negative inner voice. But how Andrew explains it and how I will explain it is essentially you're replaying a memory. This is something that you have a strong emotional connection to in the past, something that you look back on in fondness or you really have this strong bond with. When you look back at it, it's so visceral because you have such a strong emotional connection to that one thought. Now, for me, this is when I called my parents after basically we're booking their flights over to Bali, and now we're in this villa and they're currently here, which is awesome. But that memory was something I replayed after filming it as well, so I was able to look back on it and get some detail on it. But I was connected to this vision and this memory from the past. What I was able to do with that is get into a calm and clear state. This can be something for you that allows you to calm yourself down. And this is something I wanted to put into perspective. And you pick that memory selective of exactly where you were in your life when you made that memory happen. For me, I was sat in a guest house and I was pretty down about myself, but that one glimmer of hope when I was on that call with mum and dad, and they basically, I'll replay it now for you. It's, we are coming to Bali. Then I zoom in on the camera after adjusting the exposure. They say we're fully booked, we're fully paid up. Then I switch around the camera to my face and then they say, we'll see you on the 4th of December at 7:30 a.m. And that I replay. I can even put it up on the screen for you if you want to prove a point there. But I think the main reason for that is because I had such a strong emotional connection to that nothing else in that moment mattered. And with that exact same concept, you can get rid of anything clouding your thoughts in entrepreneurship. And once you've found a memory like that, all I want you to do is take that and replay it like a movie. This is something which really puts into perspective how viscerally I can picture that and how you can use this as something you can repeat. This is something that needs to be repeatable to the point where it starts forming neural pathways in your brain, which you can make it automatic. And replaying it like a movie, I mean every second of that you need to be picturing in distinct detail. And it should be around 15 to 20 seconds of how that memory plays out, but it doesn't have to be necessarily that length. It's about picturing the emotional connection you have towards that. Otherwise, you'll sort of drift in and out and you'll find yourself not being able to picture that memory in great detail, because it's not as detailed and you're also not in the right headspace to understand why that matters to you. You're focusing on the wrong things within that memory, if that makes sense. So memory is emotional connection. You need to get that at the forefront of everything you do. Emotional connection is more important than anything to what we're about to go through here, because this is where you start tapping into the points of the brain which understands that it's not the important. Because this is where you start tapping into the parts of the brain which understand. Because this is when you start tapping into the parts of the brain which are about self-actualization, not survival or any other form of hormone or emotion. It is simply about your emotional connection to yourself that matters in this point. Let's take you a bit closer. Now, whilst you're replaying like a movie, you are repeating this to the point where it starts being ingrained in your mental. And by that, I mean every time that you're in the line at Starbucks, or you're sat at your desk, or you're encountering some frustration, you can immediately replay it like that. And it comes back to you again and again. So the guy who taught me this, Andrew, was an amazing mindset coach, and he's worked with hundreds of other people on this one-to-one as well. He helps those people to understand that once you repeat this, you can replay it again and again and again. And he did it on a park bench in London, I believe. It was South Bank, the story he told. And he did this for 4 hours straight at the time. And I did this for around 2 to 3 hours. I was sat in my room at that guest house whilst learning this meta skill. And I think it takes time, but as soon as you get to that point where it's automatic, this is going to change your life in entrepreneurship. I can guarantee you that. It not only helps you rule your own business, but helps you rule your life. So keep watching. I'll explain exactly how this replayability works. Now, once you've got the like 1 or 2 repetitions down, you can sit there, and this will be difficult. You will drift in and out, and it will take time. So don't get frustrated with yourself or essentially quit from it because it's not working out. Replay this until you have a movie-like replay that you can do it another 2 to 3 times. I literally want you to do this for hundreds of times, whether it takes 1 to 50 or 100. You need to be able to repeat this at the rate which allows it to just be like something you can do second nature wise. This is a repeatable system because now we're about to apply it to something. You can't apply this to a system if you haven't already done it just at face value of how you can do it. So the next step is applying it through a system. Once you're able to essentially bring it back up and replay that memory, the one that you have a strong emotional connection to, like that, and it doesn't take too much time at all, I want you to apply it to something you already do, a set of actions that bring about an outcome within your business, whether that be how you do your content, how you do your work blocks. When, for example, I'm frustrated and the whiteboard falls in the pool during filming a YouTube video, which is what happened, then I do this exact same thing. I ground myself. I put myself in a calm and clear emotional state to be able to execute on what I need to be doing at the time through this exact system, the meta skill. And when you have it within a system, you are now applying it throughout your daily life. This becomes part of what you do, and you can't forget it when you do it. I promise you this: if you go forward and you do this, you will use this like a gold mine. It is something super valuable to be able to execute, and people have made a lot of money, including myself, just by the fact that when I'm at the right place at the right time and I'm currently not at the level that deserves the reality of what I want, then this brings me back to that true self, gets rid of this guy over here, the guy that's sabotaging me, and I call him Alex yesterday, which is also how I apply it with my own clients. We sort of do binary personas a little bit, but the negative self-image, the ego, the inner critic that is constantly telling you that you can't do these things, you can't charge this amount, you can't go to that and host a mastermind, you can't do a lot of things, or you're not at the right point yet, or you're not ready, your program's not valuable enough. All of these problems are all fabricated through your negative self-image, and a meta skill like this puts you in the right emotional headspace to believe that you are this person, simply because you stop chipping away at this guy. All the thoughts that he gives you, all the lack of clarity, all the false narratives, come from a part of you that has just been rattled by negative self-experiences that have been universalized as the years go on. You're born and you have this beautiful true self, and that just gets slightly chipped away as you grow up, as you get put more in terms of negative experience, you get more of those put on you, and that's just how we grow up, and that's how the world works in simple terms. But for you, if you want to be able to execute at the level and sit down and do your to-do list, this is going to be a skill that represents the entirety of how you can execute at a level which is unbeknownst to you. You are currently at the level probably where you're not capable of doing certain things because you simply don't believe you can do a certain volume of things. And this is going to be something that actually blows your mind once you do it at scale. So let me get into that. What this does for you is something that no other mindset guru could give you, and it's the ability to communicate with your true self. This reverses years of conditioning. It stops your business being run by your negative self-image, all the fear, the doubt, the negative experiences, and you actually start to run your business as yourself. This is something that really puts into perspective after your complete history of being the person who couldn't execute on certain things. Someone who probably worked in a 9-to-5 and then started his own business and started his own offer, started helping people through their education business, and now is stuck at their desk, just unable to do things. But this allows you to get into the headspace where it makes complete sense and you feel aligned with the person who you truly are, because that person starts to come about. You start to think, feel, behave, and bring outcomes aligned with that person. And the years of conditioning up until that point have now vanished. You are in the space that you need to be able to execute. And not a lot of people will tell you this, because it's simply the fact that they don't believe themselves, that they can execute on certain things, and they believe the best way is to just sit down and work. They'll tell you, they'll give you the full clarity you need to be able to understand what you need to be doing. But in reality, those people don't know the fact that thought, observation, and putting this into perspective of how you can be in that right headspace will get you there. Now, the next level to the meta skill is understanding 3 questions. These allow you to critically break down exactly what you're thinking and put that out of the equation when it doesn't align with who you truly are. Now, those 3 questions are, number 1 is, let's say we have a thought that comes up like, I can't charge this amount for my program. Literally, I don't want to charge that high ticket. It wouldn't work out. Well, is that true? Well, kind of, because like this and that. Like, I can't charge 5K for my program because people won't like me for that. Well, no, that's not particularly true. In fact, people actually go for higher ticket programs because they see the conviction and they see the fact that you have exactly what you need and what they need to get the results. So value, right? Is it true? No. The second layer to that is it helpful? Well, no. That thought particularly is just going to keep my program stuck at 500 a month retainer, and I'm not going to make much money, really. Just doesn't really align with the goals that I have that I said I wanted to hit, so it's not helpful. Is it helpful? Well, no, but it is a super valuable question to be like, hey, I am sat here with this thought that has plagued me for the past 2 weeks. I'm sat with a to-do list, which is speak to someone on a sales call, take that sales call today, and you can't get past that block of not being able to charge for your own program. And is it helpful? Absolutely not. Third one is, would I choose it? This one is my favorite, not just because it's the third and final one and we like things in 3s, but would I choose it? No. And this is to do with, would you choose to say this to someone you admire, someone who's in your current position, but you actually look back and you think, oh, I love that guy. Yeah. Let's say this is your mum or your mentor or one of your mentees, for example, someone you coach or you consult or you help as a service. You want this person to succeed. You want them to do well. Or would you choose to say that you can't charge that amount for your program to them? Well, no. Simply put, if you have all these 3 lined out, but at the very end you wouldn't even choose to say this out loud, then why would you choose to say that to yourself? And this is even just coming under the realm of have the same respect that you have for yourself, for others, but more importantly, would that thought actually come out correctly? Would it come across in the right way? Would you feel aligned saying that? And if the answer is no, then the 4th and sort of bonus question you have to ask yourself is, why hold on to it? Why hold on to that thought? Like, legitimately. You are sat there at your desk. Why hold on to the thought that is currently stopping you from making money, helping your long-term goals, and preventing you from even saying it out loud? You're scared, you're led with fear, and you're led by your negative self-image. But employing the meta skill, putting yourself into the calm, clear, and emotionally correct state to be able to do what you want to do, then asking yourselves these questions, because these will land way easier and you won't be able to ask yourselves in the right context with the correct data. We know we love data here at the InfoSpace HQ. All of these things can only be asked within that calm and clear state. And once you've got these 2 things simply laid out, and you can do this in the space of a minute once you get good at it, you're right back at the races. You're able to just essentially just execute what you need to be doing, because it makes 0 sense not to. You've decided that it's not true, you've decided it's not helpful, and you've decided you would never say it out loud to someone you admire. Boom. Why hold on to it? Immediately that goes out of your head. You are sat in that right position, able to execute, because now you've broken down all the barriers that your negative self-image is put out in front of you. The ego, the inner critic that's been there for years is now just vanished, and like nothing, it will come back, but now you're in the right space to make some money and get out of your own head. This is something that I've executed on hundreds of thousands of times. I've used it with all my clients, and this is something I really want you to get into perspective, because this is going to make you a lot of money. If you do this and you execute it at scale, I can guarantee you will get some results, because if you do this right and you put your negative self-image in the bin for once in a while and repeat it for many, many times until it's now employable within a system, and systemize it like crazy, you'll make so much money, you'll make huge impacts, and you'll actually feel aligned, free, and able to sit at your desk and enjoy what you do. Because I can tell you for a fact, after doing this many, many times, I still do this to this day. I have to do this hundreds of times per day. Like all the decisions I make during my day, thousands of them. This is something that really changes the game. And I would love for you to message me on Instagram with your notes on this video and also your progress on getting this done. I'd be happy to help you out and help you execute at scale on this. And yeah, I will also leave a link in the description to work with me one-to-one on this, because I know how important it is to act on this with speed. Business loves speed after all. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. This has been Alex, and this has been breaking down how you can break out of inaction loops in business. Thank you very much.